Morning, everyone. Hello. Welcome to Tea Talk. It's a global vibe on Power 88.fm. This is Tamori Richardson. I am your host, and happy Saturday. So, listen, I'm going to give you a disclaimer already. My engineer is not here with me today. He's out having a good time at UC Davis. Poo on him. So, you guys are going to have to bear with me while I am being my own engineer. I have a wonderful guest in the studio today. I'm super duper excited. Pastor John Reed. He is the pastor of the Solano Christian Academy, located here in beautiful Solano County in the city of Fairfield. So we're going to have a wonderful conversation with him. It is the best kept secret here. If you do not know, you are going to find out about it today. And as usual, we're going to talk about a little local news to start off. This is Memorial Day weekend. Entrepreneurs, business owners, corporate business executives, what are you doing with your family this weekend? So we know a lot of times that the holiday weekends, which Lord knows we need those Mondays, because let me tell you, we are tired by the time Wednesday comes. But we don't want to forget that when you get these weekend opportunities, don't sit in the house. Get your family, take your family and spend some time. Because as entrepreneurs, my kids remind me, we forget often that we've got a whole family at home because we're so busy out serving the community and doing our business. So keep that in mind, definitely, for sure. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. We talked about it last month. We're going to talk about it all the way. Well, I think this is our last weekend in the month of May. And I've been doing a lot of mental health presentations. As you guys know, I speak, present, and train for NAMI San Francisco. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and it is one of the largest grassroots organizations for mental health in the United States of America. And there's a NAMI affiliate in most every big city. But listen, we are all living and navigating something, and I want to make sure that you guys know that, because anxiety is a mental illness, PTSD is a mental illness. So we want to break that stigma. We want people to be comfortable knowing that they live with something. I've been very open about living with anxiety, PTSD, and depression. I've got my anxiety and my depression under wraps. My anxiety tells me when I'm going to choke somebody and snatch their edges off. I listen to it on a regular basis. I do. So, take care of yourself. Try to find a conference or webinar. Just getting the information is always good. And so, of course, we're coming down to the end of May, but I want to update you guys on some June events that are coming up. I always let you guys know where I think you should travel to, spend your time. And I don't tell you the places you shouldn't go. I just don't mention them. Okay? So, June 1st. Now, June is a lot of months for a lot of different things. And I got to tell you, at one point I was keeping up with all the months and all the things that we came up with, and I was getting tired. It was too many of them. So let me tell you what I do know. June is Pride Month, and June 1st in the city of Sassoon, Solano Pride is going to be having their Pride celebration. They're going to be having it at the Sassoon waterfront, which is a beautiful waterfront, just a step over the homeless. It's beautiful. There's going to be vendors there. There's going to be a lot of entertainment, and you get to go to different vendor booths, different organizations. They're a member also of the Solano County Black Chamber of Commerce, so we appreciate that as well. So if you can get out and support that. June is also Juneteenth. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, because also Pastor Reed is embarking upon his first Juneteenth celebration. And let me tell you, putting together a Juneteenth is not for the weak. So we're going to hear more about what he's got going on. But June 19th is actually Juneteenth, and we'll get into a little bit later. Briefly, what is Juneteenth? What is it about? Who should celebrate it? Why it's important? And whatever else the case might be. But let's talk about a couple more events. So we've got the Pride that's coming up the June 1st at the Sassoon Marina. June 15th, American Canyon is having a Juneteenth. And this is their fourth one off of Highway 29. It's going to be at their major park in American Canyon. It's about that big. So, I mean, you shouldn't miss it. But Brenda Knight is putting on that. She's a fantastic woman. She does a lot in the community. She's just everything. Absolutely love, adore, and respect her so much. And so if you know anything about the Solano County Black Chamber, we've put on 3 very large Juneteenth. We are not doing it this year. We are supporting Juneteenths that are about the community from individuals who are supporting and are about bringing the community together. So we are going to be supporting the American Canyon Juneteenth. If you are interested, go to our Instagram and Facebook. You can get information about Brenda Knight. She's looking for vendors. We suggest and recommend, instead of going to these Juneteenths where the fees are $800 and you got 3 people coming through. I'm not saying no names, but I think y'all know. On June 22nd, Pastor Reed is going to be having his first Juneteenth. Yay! This is going to be at the Solano Christian Academy in Fairfield at 2200 Fairfield Avenue. Beautiful, beautiful location. There's going to be speakers. There's going to be live entertainment. His theme is bringing back family values. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. We are super excited to support. We get asked to support a lot of things. You guys already know my favorite word is no. It's just it kind of is. But we were excited to do this because not only is he one of my favorite people, walks the walk, talks the talk, but we know this is going to always be something, if it's got Pastor Reed's name on it, that's going to be about community and going to be about supporting each other. So June 22nd. Also, go to our website. You can get information on contacting. They also have space for vendors, sponsors. Reach out, and always Tamuri at power88.fm. That's TAMURI at power88.fm. And I'll always connect you to whoever you need to be connected to. So let's keep those things in mind. June 26th, Solano County Black Chamber is having a mixer. We only do them quarterly, as you guys know. We don't do them monthly like some chambers. They have time to. They don't have as many members as we have. But anyway, we only do ours quarterly because we want to make sure that you guys are coming and you're making business connections. You're networking. You're not just coming and seeing the same people. And you'll find that it's a variety of people when you come to ours, not only in color, but in business. You tend not to see the same people. And you make those connections as well. Next thing, I told you guys we are having a June promotion. Tea Talk, a global vibe, every Saturday morning starting in June. I will be giving away a family 4-pack of tickets to the California State Fair. So we're going to finish putting up the promotion information, but I want you, it's going to be first caller. So I want you guys to get ready on Saturday mornings. Let's see, when is this going to start? It's going to start on June 7th. June 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th. You have an opportunity to not only win a family 4-pack to the California State Fair in Sacramento, California, but I'm going to throw in some parking. Because let me tell you, you don't want to be all the way out there in the boonies. You got to hitchhike and get to the front door. I'm going to do that for you. So tell people you heard it here first. So get ready for that promo. That's going to be absolutely something fantastic. And we are going to do a lot of wonderful things. Let's get into a little bit of local news before we get ready for our break. And then we're going to bring in the wonderful Pastor Reed. Okay, you guys, last week I talked about this new California State Assembly bill. And Pastor Reed, please jump in if you feel the need. I'm a little controversial, y'all know. Okay, it is California Assembly Bill. I believe it's 341. Now, I told you guys, this is one thing that I liked about Vice President Kamala Harris. When she was in San Francisco, she was hell-bent on making sure that parents were responsible for their crumb snatchers. So if your kid is not at school and they're truant, the parents were responsible. This new bill that they're authoring, and I knew it was the Democrats, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, here we go. We're not holding accountability again. And this is me not being partisan. But it's that parents won't be held accountable. And if your kids is running naked in the streets, not getting an education, then we're not going to say anything to the parents. Well, whose responsibility is it to know where your kids are at? I'm like, I don't understand. How are we in a society where there's no accountability for nothing? This is the worst bill. I do not know if it's going to touch the ballot. I know the majority of parents want to keep hatching these kids and don't want people to hold them accountable. But this is what I think about. A lot of women meet their mortality on the birthing table, right? You have a lot of women that do not get off that table from having a child. It is a life risk factor. So if you take the time to go meet Leroy and go get pregnant and carry that baby to 9 months, the least you can do is make sure that you have a plan. And to not have a plan and have a baby and then going about your way, and so now your baby is running through the street robbing liquor stores and knocking old ladies in the head, and you don't want to be held accountable, well then who should be held accountable for it? So I don't know if this is going to hit the ballot. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with this. Don't send me text messages and emails. I delete them at first sight. But I think this is how we hold each other accountable. And that accountability is, we get it's hard being a single parent, but there's depot shots. You can get free condoms at Planned Parenthood. I'll mail you some free condoms. You don't even have to have kids if there's not a plan to be able to take care of them. But to say that you don't have to be responsible, it's egregious. This is picking up more traction because the more responsibility that you take off of people, they love it. So I'm just saying, this is just me, whatever. But if you don't agree with it, please send in, emails, send in letters. This is not how we make a more conducive community. Look at the smash and grabs. We saw a lot of smash and grabs. We saw them here locally. These weren't all grown people. Some of these were kids that were doing the work of grown people because guess what? They knew they couldn't get full-term prison sentences, or they were going to go to juvenile hall, or they were going to be in a situation for a short period of time. So I just think we have to have a better way. Maybe if it's helping the parents, I'm not sure, whatever the case might be. So that's my rant on that. Write letters, be an objection to that. We can't have a better society if we don't advocate and we don't get involved with it. So there's my 2 cents on that. Also want to talk about, I don't know if you guys have heard, that Governor Newsom is shutting down prisons, more and more prisons in California. I'm absolutely for that. I don't know what the diversion is. I don't know what the plan is, but I do think that strictly incarcerating is not the key. It's not the idea. We've created a lot of nonprofits that don't have a good program for rehabilitating, if that's really a thing, or reentry. And when I look at these where people say we're doing reentry, their reentry is throwing you in a job that doesn't pay your rent and doesn't pay your bills. If reentry doesn't come with mental health assistance, if it doesn't come with partnering you back up with your family, if it doesn't come with parenting to help you have a relationship with your kids, then you're doing workforce development. That's all that you're doing. So I think it's great. He hasn't done a lot that I've agreed with. At one point he was my favorite governor, and be that as it may. Did you hear about Pastor Reed, the lady who's the 29-year-old lady that was lost in the Sierra? Okay, so this was, and I talked about this last week because I was outraged. I don't know who she is, but she came from Georgia. She came to the Sierras herself. She was on the news. I'm not impressed. She was lost in the Sierras for 3 weeks. Why are you in the Sierras by yourself and you don't have no family down here? You don't know this area. You're from Georgia. She's a horticulturist, and a couple other things that were uninteresting. But I just felt like it didn't make sense to me. I couldn't get her story. I was trying to figure out was there maybe some developmental something, because this didn't make sense to me that she would, and she's getting so much airtime. So this is her right here. And so now she's wearing sunglasses because, because her eyes are damaged from the sun. I'm just like, people do better. Girl, do better. You didn't even know anybody down here. Why are you out here getting lost in the Sierra? I don't know. Just certain things grind my gear. I want us to be smarter people. I don't know. I just didn't know why she did that. And now she's walking around with these Stevie Wonder glasses doing all these interviews on. And I'm just like, this was completely avoidable. But you guys know me, so you know how that goes.
But you talked about education, right?
Yeah.
So part of education is teaching us to make good choices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Using wisdom.
Yes.
And wisdom is not something that you just get by not being involved with other people, being around other people, and those kind of things. And so I do fully believe that we got to do a better job of equipping our children and getting our parents on board. And that word you use, the accountability word,
Mm-hmm.
is one we need to reintroduce to our society.
Yeah. I mean, common sense isn't common for everybody.
Exactly.
I get that now, because when you're traveling in the Sierra and you don't have a pot or a pan, I don't know what you're doing. Before we get ready to hop on over to break, I don't know if you guys have heard about the Vallejo tribe that wants, well, I don't know if they're Vallejo tribe, but they want to open up a casino in Vallejo. Lord, give me the strength. Now, don't Vallejo have 3 police officers? I'm just saying. So I'm like, you want it right off the freeway? I mean, I just want us to think for 2 seconds, because, and listen, before somebody in Vallejo try to send me some, you don't like, Vallejo's a beautiful, beautiful city. It's a gorgeous city. I'm trying to understand what is the plan. It doesn't make sense to me that it's a beautiful city that has been grappling and struggling. It's almost at 49% social services. That means it's a city that's not bringing in revenue. It's not attracting work. It's not attracting working class. It's not attracting middle class. It's not attracting small businesses. So it doesn't make sense to me that you would bring something so attractive to people and it's already out of control, like a casino. Of course the tribes want it. And let's be clear, because I was just talking last week, and I'm going to get ready to jump on over to a break, but I was talking last week about $340 million that HUD is allocating for tribal communities. Well, why? They're getting billions of dollars from the casinos and aren't even helping their tribal people. Why are you making us pay for tribes? And let's keep it real. They're not handing out money to the community because they want to. It's a part of that tax agreement. You know, because when I think about the tribes that are in Solano County, I want you to think about this. The organizations they mostly hand money to are predicated in whiteness. They're not minority organizations, but this is like most minorities where they don't see the value in each other. So it doesn't make sense to me that we would in turn go and give millions and millions of dollars. And so what are they going to invest? I want to see what the investment plan is here as well, and I don't know if they have one or not. So anyway, but we're going to Power88.fm. We're going to take a break really quick. We've got an ad break that's going to be coming up. YouTube, we are going to stay in line, and we're going to get ready to talk to Pastor Reed. And Power88.fm, we'll be back with you shortly. All right. Okay, you guys, we are still on YouTube. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. So I want to introduce you guys to Pastor Reed. He is an absolute wonderful person in the community, someone that I've had the privilege of getting to know and really building a relationship, a solid relationship with. And I really have appreciated knowing, if you guys know anything about me, I'm not super religious, have not been. But I do appreciate the fact that he's been somebody that's been very predicated and focused on community. And what is community? What does that look like? And so I want to introduce you guys, but I want Pastor Reed to kind of do his own introduction, if he doesn't mind.
No, sure, I'd be happy to. So, if I had to introduce myself to anyone, my first start is, you need to know about me, is that I love God. And I cannot love God without loving God's creation. That be all of y'all out there, His people, and everybody that I knew, that I've come about. I view them as a brother or a sister, family. Now, sometimes in this situation, we have to learn to love our family at a distance. But the point is, we work towards coming closer and closer together, and we do that by coming closer and closer to God. I've been involved with people all my life, and I've always not necessarily looked at what people are, but what they can be. And I started that with myself, and my whole motto for life, even then, but even more so now, is that every day I want to be a better person than I am today. And I don't measure that in terms of accomplishments or anything like that, but just a little bit better. Because life in itself is a process, is a goal, and it's a continuous process where we're trying to get better and better. So That's who I am. I care about people. I'm not a religious person. I'm a man of faith, and that's why I think Tamari and I have been able to build our relationship off of it. Because I'm not trying to persuade her to go to a building on Sunday. I'm not trying to persuade her to become a member of a particular church group. But I know who she is, and I remind her of that all the time. She's a child of God, and God wants her back, and God is going to use her the way He sees fit, and I think He's doing a pretty good job of it. So thank you.
Whew, what a challenge for him to take home. All right, y'all. All right, you guys, we are back with Power 88.fm. Thank you so much. Let me just click live here. I'm doing engineering on live radio and on YouTube. Thank you so much for that, Pastor Reed. We are live back on Power 88.fm. This is Tamari Richardson on Tea Talk, a Global Vibe, with Pastor Reed. I gotta say, anybody that knows me know that I am not religious. I grew up in religion, grew up very religious, consider myself spiritual, believe I have a relationship with Jehovah God because he's kept me from hurting a plethora. And looks over me, looks over my family. I just had a situation that happened not that long ago, and I know praying was something that brought it all back around for me, and I could never be, just being thankful and trying to maintain a relationship. But one of the things that I really liked about Pastor Reed, and we're going to really get into Solano Christian Academy, is that, man, he was just so authentic and just very down to earth and real. And where I found other pastors and folks to be very much about showmanship and look what I've got on and look at this and look at my church. And I didn't hear a spiritual thing come out of their mouths. I didn't hear anything that came out about the people. It was always predicated in self. And I knew he was different. I knew he was somebody to be respected. I knew he was somebody that I could look to like a mentor. And you guys already know I don't like most people. I know it's the love is their pull of me. I know. But I really just gravitated to him because I'm like, this is somebody that really understands that religion is man's concept. The Bible is God's word. The Bible and following that, this is who he was. So I want to talk about Solano Christian Academy because I call it the best kept secret because a lot of people may not even know it's in the city of Fairfield. It is a beautiful facility, but oh my goodness, the stuff that they are doing there is beyond. Tell us about the Solano Christian Academy.
Oh, happy to. So, Solano Christian Academy has been around for a long time, and it's very unique. And I think that's part of the challenge with the secretiveness of it. It was established in 1977, and over the years, it's kind of had its ups and downs and twists and turns. It was focused primarily, it's what you would call church folks. And over the years, it opened up to the community, and now we have people from all different walks of life, all different religious type organizations. But it's really about a partnership. Our focus has been for the last several years is that we want to build a partnership with the parents. We talked earlier about the need for accountability to make sure that children are getting educated, to be at school, those sorts of things. And we realize that it is not our responsibility to educate children. It is our responsibility to support and help and equip parents to educate their children.
Yes.
So I think the Bible is pretty clear about who's responsible. Deuteronomy 6 talks about that, but you can read that on your own time. But it talks about the necessity of continuously putting God first in your life, putting God in front of your children, because I believe that that is the most important thing we can do.
Now, I would like to know, which I think this is important, what type of demographics of parents and families are in the Christian Academy? Because we were just talking about that, the importance of parents being involved, but also having that support, I understand, is important for them as well.
Yeah. So, the other piece about Solano Christian Academy, it is probably one of the most diverse schools around. We have people from all walks of life in terms of this color game that Satan plays, black, white, Hispanics, you name it, religious-wise, Muslims, Christians, etc., and so forth. But our focus is not on that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got enough people focusing on that on Sunday morning. Our focus is really about bringing people together and helping people understand there's something greater than themselves.
Absolutely. Now, I was at the Christian Academy and I saw a lot. It's a beautiful facility, first off. So, you know, I honestly wish I would have known Pastor Reed when my kids were going to school. Because I definitely, this would have been some place that I would have wanted my young kids to go to, where I know that they would have been getting some structure, but a lot of support. And I would have known, and I would have been very, very comfortable with that. Somebody who's as skeptical of everything as I am. But one thing I was really impressed about is the programs that are in place that I don't think a lot of schools are doing. I know public schools are not doing, because we had a gentleman by the name of Larry Sand on here who was talking about education and how our kids are getting dumber and dumber. I'm a little extra brash, we already know that. But we were just talking about we're not building geniuses, and we're like the 16th on education here. So we're like, what? I can't read. So this is basically what we're creating here. But I saw them doing a beautiful mathathon. Was that what it was? Or?
Yeah, we call it academic Olympics.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Please tell the people about that. It was brilliant. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah. So we've been having this every year for the last many years, where we kind of culminate the year with a Jeopardy game that encaptures the things that we've tried to teach, but we present it in a way that children can have fun. If you haven't noticed, the kids are very competitive. I'm not sure where they learned that from, but they're very competitive and they like to compete. And so our intent was to create an environment where they could compete without malice. So they can have fun.
Yeah.
And so much of the questions are presented in Jeopardy form. We deal with things like ELA, math, etc. So there's a day for ELA, there's a day for math, there's a day for science, there's a day for history, and believe it or not, there's a day for Bible.
Wow.
And so we get a chance to ask them questions, and they compete, and then at the end of each session, the teachers compete against the children.
Wow.
This just was one of them. This year was just very exciting. I really enjoyed that myself. To see the kids have the joy on their face, and to see learning occurring without them, I don't even think they were realizing they were learning.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it was just awesome.
Yeah. I mean, they were just smiling and they were enjoying it. I just thought that was great. And that's the stuff that builds confidence, when your kids feel like they're learning, but not only that, but there's an institution that wants them to learn and wants them to grow. I'm super excited about that. How does your enrollment go? If I'm a parent, what is the grade range, and what's the enrollment? Is there enrollment process? How do you get in, and what is your contact information for that?
Sure. So we're accessible on our website at the Solano Center. If a parent is interested in applying for the school, which is the first step, they can get on our website, create an account, and apply. Because we realize that we're not for everybody. We want to make sure that when people come to us, that we have the ability to work with them and help them. And our motto is, nobody comes here to fail. You come here to succeed.
Yeah.
So if we can equip and be part of that process, then we don't want you to waste your money and time. We also want to make sure that the people who come realizing that we're asking you for a commitment. We're asking you to make a sacrifice. Get involved in your child's life.
Yeah.
Now, many instances, because we're a private school, and I'm sure that's true in most places, folks feel like, well, I paid my tuition, etc. Well, paying tuition is not enough at Solano Christian Academy.
Right.
We need you to be involved. We need to know that you're committed to the education of your children. In fact, we need you to be involved in the life of your children, so that we can help them mature. One of our foundational pieces is that we are a school of preparation, a school of equipping children for what they're going to encounter in life, not necessarily just in school. And folks are saying, well, sometimes it's just too safe here. Well, you can't take your children away from every harm thing like that. And in fact, sometimes the things that God puts in their path is for their growth and development. Yeah. And we encourage parents to allow that to happen at time to time. But the best thing you can do is just be prepared, be equipped, be ready. And you don't have to worry about those things. You know how to handle it.
That's excellent. That absolutely is. So listen, if you have children, I would encourage you. I've seen it myself. Not only is the facility beautiful, but those kids have a lot of energy and light and a lot of enthusiasm. And you could tell they enjoy being there, that they're getting something more than the average class size at public school is 40. The average teacher doesn't have the credentials, and this is not a knock to public school. My kids went to public school. This is not a knock. Not every teacher is bad, not every teacher is good. But the public school system is not equipped and geared oftentimes. And again, this is not a knock to it, this is just reality, to give kids what they need. And so sometimes as parents, we have to do something a little bit extra. And keep in mind, if you want to be a parent where your hands are off the wheel a little bit, you got to give them all the tools that they need. So as they get older, you don't have to be so hands-on. When they're in an environment where there's so many kids and so many atmospheres, and there's really nothing structural in place, you have to worry about it a little bit more. So Solano Christian Academy is in the city of Fairfield. It's at 2200 Fairfield Avenue. I would encourage you to reach out to Pastor Reed and his staff. I love what you said. It's not for everyone. So, you know, and listen, if you got some kids that you know running around the streets naked, drop them off at public school. Ain't nobody got time for that. I'm just saying, that's me. Go ahead.
And let me just say this too. I didn't mention it earlier. The whole idea, we know everybody doesn't learn the same way. And so every child, we work hard to develop an individual learning plan, and then it's monitored as an individual. That doesn't necessarily mean they're being treated as separate and apart, but do we know where to focus at?
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that we're closing those gaps. The other thing is that we're focused on mastery. We're not focused on, did you get an A, did you get a B, although that's part of it. The point is, did you learn?
Yeah.
What have you learned? And regardless of if I ask you tomorrow or 2 weeks from now, have you really learned that, mastered that, so you really understand how to face that same problem, that same question, whatever it might be, in any place in your life. So mastery is a big difference than just giving you a letter grade for work out assigned to you. Mastery is about, I really know this.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's wonderful. Solano Christian Academy. And what is the website information for the academy and telephone number?
So solanocenter.org. The telephone number is 707-425-1577. And again, we'd love to hear from you. Come by and check us out. And we will do everything that we can to work towards building a relationship with you and doing that. So again, it's 707-425-7715.
Excellent. All right. Well, that sounds good. That deserves an applause, definitely. All right, you guys, so reach out. We're getting ready to talk about some of the events. I want to talk about events that you had. I know you guys had a crab feed fundraiser, because you've got a lot of plans for Solano Christian Academy. I had the privilege of being there to kind of see what the plan is. Let's talk about that, because I want to segue into Juneteenth, but I want to just tell about some of the wonderful things you've got planned for the Academy.
Sure. So one of the things that we've been working on for the last 2 years is this notion of renewal. And we refer to renewal as the Ezra process. And so when we're looking at that, we're talking about how do we get better? And what do we need to do to really create an environment where people come? You know, people go to church. We want people to come to a place. And we want people to come to a place where it meets their needs. And we're talking about every aspect of life. We're talking about entertainment. We're talking about food, of course, education, but primarily just to build community. I'm amazed at the number of people that seem to struggle with just having a simple conversation without arguing. It seems like we've really lost the art of listening to one another. Even though God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth, it seems like we're more apt to use our mouth than to use the 2 ears. I think there's some spiritual prophecy there. But anyways, I'll move on. We need to become better listeners. And before we are anxious to respond to one another, at least hear the person out. Hear where they're coming from. I mean, first of all, people say to me, well, Pastor Reed, you have it all together. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I don't. I'm a sinner just like you. I need God just as much as you need God. I need other people in my life to encourage me. Because as you said, I've had the urge to choke people at times. I'm sorry, I'm repenting right now, so y'all know that. But it is because of who I know
Sure.
that I refrain from reaching out and touching something. We all need one another, and I think what the church has done, or the churches have done, is that they have created this constant divide amongst us based on an address on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And we really need to get back to the spiritual piece of it, is that we came from one God, we are one people, and we need to learn how to love all people, even though we're all different. That's that diversity thing, and God in His wisdom gave us that so that we can have a better place. So that's probably the biggest driver for Ezra.
Mhm.
But then also we are physical beings too, and physical beings need certain things. We need the outlet of entertainment. We don't need to have to drive over to San Francisco to hear a great concert, to get a great meal.
Mhm.
We could do that right here in our backyard, and in doing so, we learn how to live together, and perhaps we learn how to even respect others, our properties. Why do we think it's okay to just sleep on someone's lawn, etc.? And it goes on and on and on. I'm just amazed at what people think is okay to do today. So that's what Ezra is about, and it was generated because of a vision that I believe I received in terms of inspiring me to say, what can we do to bring people together? Because we know there's a person out there, an entity out there that wants us to stay apart.
Very true. And I think so. So with this Ezra project, what is it outlier? Like, what is the breakdown of it? So just people just kind of know what is the project. You're comfortable with kind of saying what is the project and how does that align with your vision?
Okay, so Ezra is twofold. It's a spiritual renewal,
Mm-hmm.
and as I said earlier, I am a man of faith, but I'm also striving to be a spiritual person.
Mm-hmm.
And spirituality simply means that you come to recognition that there is something greater than yourself. And I know in these days everybody's talking about the universe, but I want us to focus on who created the universe.
Yeah.
And let's stop taking away God's glory and giving it to something He created and give it back to Him.
Mm-hmm.
And that spiritual thing allows us to be able to have these personal relationships where you don't have to think like me, Mark. I don't have to agree with everything that you believe and that kind of stuff. We need to start with, first of all, do we believe there is a God?
Mm.
And if we can do that,
Yeah.
there's a pathway for anything.
First step.
If we're humble enough. Now we got to get the pride out of the way.
Right.
If we're humble enough, that's what. And then the physical part of it is just renewing the whole structure of the location. The building's been there since 1960. We know that we need things like a place where people can go and exercise. We need a place where people can bring their children for childcare.
Mm-hmm.
We need a place where people can bring their children for education. We need a place where people can come and talk to people who have been equipped to help them with their needs, such as mental health and those kind of things.
Yeah.
We need to address the whole idea of how to have a relationship, whether it be mom and dad, whether it be husband and wife, and those things are so important to the building blocks to a solid family.
Right.
And so the facilities needs to come forward. We know there are places that people love to drink coffee, so we want to make sure that there's a place that they can come and have a coffee, or come and buy me some pastries and stuff like that. That's one of my weaknesses, of course. And just a place where I can just take my favorite person out for a meal.
Yeah.
And appreciate them.
Absolutely.
So it's all inclusive, but we want it to be serviceable to any and everybody in our community.
Absolutely. I mean, that sounds like, something that's really predicated in a concept of God and really walking in Jesus' footsteps, where it's not just about self, but it's about others, and always how to bring each other together.
Yes.
And fellowship together. I love that. I got the benefit of kind of seeing what the vision is. It's beautiful and it's gorgeous. So I want you guys to go to www.solanocenter.org.
Yes.
Check out the Solano Christian Academy, and reach out to Pastor Reed, not just for purposes of your children, but how you can support projects like this and how you can support the vision and what that vision looks like. I mean, there's nothing greater than creating something for all that's not predicated in self. So, and then we're going to make sure afterwards that you get direct information. It'll be in the YouTube video as well. And you guys always know you can reach out to me as well for information.
So one of the last thing I'd like to say is that the Child Care Center is up and running.
Mm.
Obviously, the school is up and running,
Yes.
and we're working on even using what we have now, even before God blesses us. So we're going to look at exercise programs. We're going to look at bringing in folks to make themselves available with special education, people like yourself, hint, hint, and just to help us connect, because we just seem to be divided such that we just can't cross that gap, and we got to break that. But there's too much good information out there to make it, and it'll help us make better choices.
Yeah, absolutely. And we need that here in Solano County. It's such a beautiful county and a beautiful place, and we need more togetherness. So I'm looking forward to everything that you've got going on. Let's jump into the Juneteenth. I'm super excited about this. I want to, for those of you that do not know, let me give you a little bit of information about Juneteenth, but mostly Juneteenth is not a black celebration. So I want everybody out there in YouTube and Radio Land to know that Juneteenth is celebrated predominantly by Black and African American people because it commemorates the emancipation of Galveston, Texas in 1863. There were 3,000 slaves, over 3,000 slaves in Galveston, Texas that did not know they were free. Now, they didn't get the memo, the email, or the text message, and Massa wasn't trying to send out a memo to say use free. But they had been free for 3 years and they didn't know. They were still working as slaves. And so the Juneteenth was erected really in celebration of that moment in time, because they had already been emancipated, but they had not known. So it's something that came out of Galveston, Texas, and it has become a national holiday. Past President Joe Biden signed it into a national holiday in law in 2021 in June, that it's a national holiday to be celebrated. And so if you are of Black and African American origin, you are probably to some degree going to be acknowledging, commemorating Juneteenth. We do it in many ways. But the one thing that I loved about the Solano County Black Chamber, we've done it for 3 years now. We partnered our first year. And then our second and third year, we did it on our own. And we had people from areas that I never thought would come and called and said, hey, we hear the Black Chambers for everyone. We're white in Rio Vista. Can we come? You absolutely can come, because people don't know. And we haven't been going around giving people the information. So what I'm excited about with yours is that what has happened, as what happens with everything, and it's probably not to anybody's fault, is that Juneteenth has become very commercialized, very. And so instead of it being what it originally was for, to bring the family together, and I'm gonna put me in this, because last year we had John B., we had Sherelle, we planned for Alexander O'Neill, but he was hospitalized, was not able to come. We made it a big concert because it's become that. And we've all lost that Juneteenth is more than just the party.
Yes.
And so when you decided to put this together, I've not seen it anywhere. Mind you, Vallejo started in Solano County doing the Juneteenth. I'm gonna be a good girl for the rest of the show, I swear. And then another city picked it up and they decided to add rappers. And then we do it. There's way too many Juneteenth. So that's why I'm telling people, be very careful where you're going. If you are going for the benefit of Juneteenth, then you're going to really focus on what the content is going to be about. If you're going to listen to a concert and 9 times out of 10 things can tend to get out of control, then you're going to get that element. But Pastor Reed, please talk to us about your idea that you came up with Juneteenth. And I got to tell you, I'm excited about this over everything.
Sure, I'm happy to. So first of all, let me just say, I'm not opposed to entertainment. I enjoy it, and I think we need entertainment, but I think the focus for us really needs to be about what Juneteenth was originally designed for. And, and as you said, it was about bringing people together. So we have folks today that are not sure why we have Juneteenth.
Mhm.
They're probably just as blind as those folks were back in Texas.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, I must say, I think that we're still working for the master.
Mhm.
Only the master is not a white man, the master is the devil.
Mhm.
And my whole mindset was about what do we do to get people back into thinking that Juneteenth was a message of freedom. And what is it that we have enslaved ourselves in today? So we know what it meant then, but what does it mean for the 21st century? And what it means for me was to bring people back together, and one of the greatest ways to do that would be the revival of what I call the village when I was a kid. Unfortunately, when I looked at the village is in trouble.
It is.
Because,
it exists.
yeah, because the village is predicated on the home, the family.
That's right.
So when we allow our families to not be as functional and efficient as I believe God intended them to be,
yeah.
then we don't really have that mechanism in place so that we can come together and say, hey, let me help you.
Mm.
I remember the days when the older moms would help the younger moms.
Yeah.
I remember the days when if you needed a cup of sugar or a cube of butter or something like that, you'd say, go next door to Mary's and ask her if she can lend us that. That was just how closely the communities were connected.
Right.
Nowadays, if you did that, you'd probably get shot. So
yep.
we have to turn that around. And the way we do that is to help us understand how to build relationships.
Right.
And so when we talk about a family reunion, we're talking about waking us up to realize that we're all part of one big old family, and that's God's family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got some folks in our families that need to be dealt with. You know, but we have some other folks that are struggling and just need a little bit of help.
Right.
They need some positivity in their lives. They need to know what it means to have a great time without insulting someone. Just go. I mean, the simple things like the universal language, eating together, right? Being entertained, having some clean fun, playing games.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna have dominoes and bidwist. I don't have to worry about it because I probably won't have time to get involved with those games because I have sinned before. I've abused people at the domino table, so I don't want to do that no more.
Well, I'll be doing it for you. No worries.
Okay, good, great. Keep up the same banner. But the bottom line is, we just want a place where people come together and just experience goodness, the wholesomeness of God, the joy of just a day of just happiness.
Absolutely.
You know, and let other folks be able to experience that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about it, I think about the family picnic. When you get together with your family and you go to the park and your cousins come and aunts and uncles and everybody's just having a good time and you're laughing. That's why I got so excited. I grew up in a big family and we always did a lot of fellowshipping together. But we've drifted off a little bit because everybody's doing their own thing. And this is an opportunity to really come and tell us what the program is going to look like for folks who want to know.
Okay, so first of all, some of the picnics my family went really at, all we had was peanut butter and jelly. But we're going to have hamburgers, we're going to have hot dogs, and we're not asking anybody to pull $1 out of their pocket. We just want you to come and eat.
Yes.
We are going to have some vendors with some delicious stuff, and you're going to have to foot that one yourself.
Right.
But there's nothing free in life, of course. Right. We're going to have some live entertainment. We're going to have some students performing. We're going to have some karaoke. So if there's folks out there listening and you know you can sing, I'm not talking about the shower. Then call us up and we'll get you on the list because we want it to be wholesome and we want it to be well done because that's the whole point. We don't have to do things halfway. We got 4 weeks, so you should be able to get your song together. But we're going to have that. We're going to have some speakers, some very inspirational speakers. People are going to be talking about Juneteenth. Folks are going to be talking about education. We're going to even be talking about money, which is kind of a lost art. We chase money, but we don't know how to manage money. So if you out there getting money, we want to teach you how to hold on to it. We want to teach you how to help your money work for you. Yeah. And then it's just the whole idea of just encouraging us to be a better you. Yeah. Whoever you are today, we want to encourage you that day to make it a commitment to improving yourself. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It could just be smiling. It could just be saying good morning. Right. those simple things that sometimes we don't even look at each other. We're in the grocery store, we'll look the other way before we want to speak to one another. I just don't get it, but
Yeah.
maybe I'm just weird like that. But those kind of things I'm really excited about, and just to see if we can bring folks together and help us all recognize that we're just flesh and blood. We bleed the same way. We got the same issues. But there are people who have been through some things that I haven't been through that may be able to help me.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, the pastor and the event still need vendors. So you can go to www.solanocenter.org. Scroll down, you'll see the Juneteenth tag, little link there. Click on it. It'll take you right to the application. You can also go to solanoblackchamber.com. We have the information there. It'll link you over to Solano Center's form, and you can apply to be a vendor. And I mean, this sounds like a wonderful community event. So, you know, I'm excited about it. I'm excited to meet new people in the community, and an opportunity to bring your kids,
Yes.
bring lawn chairs if you have them, you know, and bring good attitude and good energy. I have to remind people that of all the time, because sometimes people are so used to fighting
Right.
and being aggressive that they don't know how to just come and have a good time. I think it's wonderful. You guys are going to provide food. This is what love of your fellow man looks like, that people are going to get an atmosphere and an environment. Bring your kids, bring your babies. Please watch them, though, because look here. Okay. I don't know what I'm not going to do, you know, but watch your babies. And this is an opportunity. One thing I remember, we were talking and you said, this is an opportunity for those who have families. It's hard to navigate marriage alone,
Yes.
right? Now try to navigate being a single father. There's single fathers and single mothers. And maybe you'll make connections that can help you navigate how to help those resources along, so that you can bridge the gaps
Yes.
and bridge these relationships, because this is all about family togetherness. I am super duper excited for what this means, and this being your first of many.
Yes.
I think this is going to be absolutely great, and the plethora of individuals. Now, what I do want to know, what is your message? Because this is a call to action too, right? So this is to come have a good time. And what I love about Pastor Reed is he's not judging people. He's not wagging the finger. He's not doing any of that. It's all in love. And he always says, come as you are. And so what is your message that you're going to be sending out to the families and folks that are there that day? Because I know you're going to be one of the speakers, and I'm excited.
Well, first of all, we're not inviting you to church.
Right.
I think
I'll
I already
be
just
there.
said the whole point is we're inviting you to an environment where you can experience love, but more importantly, God's love.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that when I say church, I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about. I'm not inviting you to a program on Sunday morning that starts at whatever time. But let me tell you, we are going to start at 1 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go for 4 hours. And we're going to entertain you, and we're going to provide a well-rounded presentation. So if you're coming looking for a reason to find fault, it's probably not a good place for you to come. If you're coming looking to see how we can work together and enhance one another and encourage one another to seek a better way of life, then yes, by all means, please come.
Excellent. That is great. So, I mean, you guys definitely, this is a wonderful opportunity to press reset on the family. So let me make sure you guys have the information again. Go to www.solanocenter.org, and not only getting information about the Solano Christian Academy, which is phenomenal in its own right, but be there at the Juneteenth. It's free to attend, a free community event. You get an opportunity to talk to Pastor Reed and all the beautiful, wonderful people there, and the beautiful, beautiful Mrs. Reed. You are surrounded around love. And that's what I feel. I tell them every time I come down there, I stay way longer than I should, because I just feel a lot of love that's embracing me when I'm there. So we will see you June 22nd. That's on a Sunday at 1 p.m. Bring your fathers. We know Father's Day is I don't know if it's the weekend before. Okay, bring your father, bring your mother, bring your spouse, but bring your kids, because this is an opportunity. And what I love about it is that one of the things you mentioned, and you mentioned this already, having resources. So this isn't people saying, hey, you need all this, you need all this, now go find it. There'll be resources there and people that'll be able to connect you. The Solano County Black Chamber will be there as well. We'll have a table. So if we can connect you with resources, we wouldn't want to be anyplace else on June 22nd. So June 22nd, 1 p.m. at 2200 Fairfield Avenue in the city of Fairfield. If you have any other questions, please reach out to www.solanocenter.org or make a phone call to 707-425-7715. That tells you I visit them too much because I know all the information by heart. That's so sad. But we look forward to seeing you June 22nd. Pastor Reed, do you have any other closing words?
I just want to say thank you for all that you do and for the work that probably will never be recognized for. But I'm going to tell you, God knows it, and I know it, and I love you. And my whole challenge in life is to definitely make sure that you understand who you are. You are a child of God. You need help like all of us. But
they
that's
know.
who you are.
They know.
We all are going to be working together. So if y'all want to help me with Mrs. Richardson here, please show up and we can work together on it.
It will be your biggest challenge yet.
All right, we love it.
Well, thank you so much. I want to thank you guys again. Happy Memorial Day weekend. You are on Tea Talk, a Global Vibe. Get out there with your family members. Enjoy your family. Appreciate we've given you some great events for June. We will be reminding you every Saturday up to the time about the Juneteenth on June 22nd, so do not worry. If you're a vendor, get your application in before it fills up, but there's only going to be so much space for vendors, so we want to make sure that you're there. It's going to be a beautiful community event. And enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. Look, ladies, I keep telling y'all now, y'all out here dating and stuff, and these men not getting the help that they need. And listen, acknowledge this stuff. When he running around calling you on the phone acting crazy, something else is going on. All right, Mental Health Awareness Month. Make sure that you check out a conference. Check out NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. And you guys have an absolute wonderful Saturday. And we will see you next Saturday. And don't forget our June promotion that we are giving away. Tea Talk, a Global Vibe, is giving away a family of 4 tickets to the California State Fair. And I'm throwing in some parking so you don't have to hitchhike up to the front door. So thank you for joining me this Saturday. Tea Talk, a Global Vibe. This is your host, Tamori Richardson, on Power 88.fm. We are also on iHeartRadio and Live 365. Thank you so much out there in YouTube land, and we will see you next Saturday. You guys have a good day. Where's the glass?